Who did you write this book for? The person who knows little or nothing about strength training, or the person who is already working out regularly and wants to add some new elements to his program?
So what I did was I had to answer that question from the very beginning when I was outlining this book, and I was asked to create basically a one-year program worth of programs. So what I did was I started from the top. I said, okay, we need to start a program for guys who have been out of the game for a little while. They may not have been working out for a couple months or maybe even a couple years, because in the past they may have worked out in college for different sports, whatever it might be, or recreationally. So what we're going to do is the first 8 weeks of the program, we're going to take them through the fundamentals of strength training. This is good for all guys who have gotten away from it in the past, and also those guys who are currently doing more advanced programs but need to work on a little bit more on joint stability and the fundamentals of the program. From there, we break it down into 4 to 6 week programs, each one getting a little bit more advanced so that you can work your way up the ladder. That's really the safest way to do it. The other nice thing I like about these programs are you can mix and match. After you go through the starter programs, you can do a core power workout, you can do a strength and power workout, core training, all different types of programs. We even have some plyometrics in there. So if that's really what you're into, some type of sports-specific conditioning, go for your starter program and then pull out your next chapter, really that works for you.
What factors should be taken into consideration when beginning a strength training regimen?
So when you're starting a strength training program, basically we're going to look at it two ways. If you've already been working out in the past and you're currently on a program, that's fantastic. But whenever you switch to a new program, you have to make sure that you adjust to the new exercises. So that means you don't start your very first week of that program with 4 sets, if that's what it's called for. Do 3 sets, work your way up to the 4th set. And you're also not going to start at your max weights. That's very important. Start at somewhere around 70-75%, and then you can work your way up after that second week. Because remember, these are 4 to 6 week programs. The other thing is, if you haven't been working out for a while, we're talking a few months or a few years, you'll want to start with the fundamentals, and that's what I talked about. You don't want to start doing, a one-leg reach to row when you still need to work on a one-leg Romanian deadlift first. And you'll figure out what all that is in the book. But what I'm basically saying is, you have to start, crawling before you walk, and you have to just walk before you run. And again, if you're an advanced user, that's fantastic. You're going to be able to move up in weights faster, and you're going to be able to move up in programs faster. But always start one level below where you're currently at.
Your book is titled A Man's Guide to Muscle and Strength. What makes the information and exercises in this book right for men?
So I've been working with male clients now, male and female, but this book is geared towards guys. And the reason it's geared towards guys is that I have a lot of barbell work in there. I have even some landmine work in there, some kettlebell work, a lot of really cool exercises as well as functional exercises that guys will enjoy doing in the gym. They may have seen other guys doing them. They may not have known how to do them in the past. I'm going to teach you through this book how to do them, but not only that, because you don't want to just throw an exercise into a program. The whole program is balanced. So there's 3 days per week of strength training, and then I'm going to give you some interval-based days for fat burning and all of that. But what I do is I balance the workout. If you're doing a push-based exercise, I'm going to have you pulling back, and it's going to keep your body not only looking really good, but functionally strong as well. Another thing why it's geared towards guys is it fits within a guy's busy lifestyle. So unless you have all day to work out, all day to work on your nutrition, I make these workouts 30 to 40 minutes long, 30 to 45 minutes long max. And what that's going to allow you to do is going to burn fat during the workout, build muscle during the workout, and stay nice and lean. Good, lean, muscular physique, which I think most guys out there are really shooting for right now. Kind of looking like the guy on the cover of Men's Health, maybe rather than the guy on the cover of Muscle and Fitness or one of those magazines.
You talk about how getting started is simple. And while that might be true, how can men keep motivation high after beginning a program and also avoid the plateau effect that causes so many to quit training?
It's a good question. One of the reasons I think guys plateau in the first place is plain and simple. They stick to exercises that they like and that they're good at. And the other thing is they just don't switch up their programs. If you've been doing the same program for more than 2 months, there's no way you're still moving up in weights. You're going to stay stagnant. And when you stay stagnant, you just maintain the results you already have. And not only that, if you keep doing the same exercise, you'll actually go backwards because you're not going to work on different facets and different areas of your body. So what I like to do is say, we're not going to plateau in the first place. And the reason we're not going to plateau in the first place and we're not going to get demotivated is because your program is going to get switched up every 4 to 6 weeks. And that's the best way to do it. Why 4 to 6 weeks? Well, 4 weeks is great. If you plateau, meaning that you haven't been able to move up in weight for the last week, so 2 weeks now, without moving up in weight, it's time to switch your program. If you can move up, you're giving yourself a little check mark on the graphs that I wrote inside the book. That means do a 5th week. If you can go up that 6th week, do a 6th week. And hopefully, and most likely, you'll plateau there with your heaviest weights, your biggest lifts, and then you know there's no point in keeping going with that program. Switch it on to a new program, target different areas of your body, work them in different ways.
Nutrition is obviously a key element to reaching goals. What advice would you have for men who wish to train, yet have limited time or income to adhere to a strict diet?
The biggest thing about nutrition, and again, working with guys now for over a decade and working with myself, is that things have to be simple. So the first thing you have to do is you need to plan your meals the night before or the day before. And I also like to say you have to plan it the week ahead so that you go grocery shopping for your simple things. Your fruit, your protein, your raw almonds, your eggs, things that you can keep in your fridge that also take less than 10 minutes to make. Because, if you're like me, you're not going to sit down and prepare a 30 to 40 minute, gourmet meal. It's just not going to happen. So what we need is we need to figure out meals that we can get in and get out quick. In the morning, we can make omelets. We can make a protein shake. We can have fruit. We can have all these different things that are simple and easy to do that will stick with your nutrition, but only if you prepare ahead. So if we plan our meals for the next day, then of course we're going to know, okay, breakfast is this, snacks this, lunch is this, snack is this, and then here's my protein shake and here's my dinner. So we'll be able to fit everything in and it becomes very simple. The other thing is we need to make it a routine. So we need to make sure that you stick with this plan for at least 21 days. If you do it for 21 days, it's going to become habit, and you're going to say, okay, I can't believe I wasn't doing this in the past. It's going to feel like you're always doing it, and it's natural. Now, in terms of income and how much you're spending on food, keep in mind that without proper nutrition, all that weight training you do in the gym, working out, is going to almost be wasted because you need to make sure you're getting the proper protein in, the proper nutrients, and that you're timing your meals well. Now, the thing is, most guys spend their money on all sorts of different types of foods that aren't really healthy for them. And when you just switch it over to healthier foods, it's not any more expensive. It's just you're allocating it from nachos and those types of things over to some organic eggs, some fruit, and different protein powders like that. And again, there's no need to use supplements if you don't feel comfortable with that. And I only recommend the basic ones. Like a protein supplement, whether it's from a vegetarian-based source or it's from a whey-based source. But again, if you're using a protein shake and that's your snack, that's going to be about $1 or $2 per serving, and you're just mixing it with water. So there's not too much cheaper than that for a healthy snack on the go or pre or post-workout.
Strict programs are similar to any sport training. How can guys avoid the burnout effect?
Another thing, we talked about kind of ramping up the workouts with each week. So every time you start a new program, I call it an unloading week. That means you do one less set than you typically would, and you bring your weights down just a little bit, meaning you're not maxing out. You're not working at your maximal lift for each exercise. The other ththing is it's called periodized training model. So typically every 12 weeks, you'll take a full week off from the gym. And that's just being active, maybe playing basketball, maybe going outside, running around, playing some football, whatever it might be with your friends. But we want to make sure that we actually give the joints a rest, that we give the muscles a rest. Every 12 weeks, one full week off. Now, you don't necessarily have to plan this into your schedule. Again, just working with hundreds and hundreds of guys, I found that they never have to plan their 12th week because a vacation comes up, a work travel appointment comes up, whatever it might be, or family obligations come up, and they end up taking 5 days off or so. So what I find is it's important just to keep sticking with the plan, and if something comes up, that can be your week off. Now, if nothing does come up and you finish program 1, 2, and 3, and all of those are 4 weeks, then take the next week off, enjoy a week of just being active, eating well, and then you're fresh, you're ready to get into the next workout, you won't be burnt out, and you'll be actually looking forward the whole week to working out, but you're holding yourself back, and you can use that energy and that motivation to get into your next program.
Injuries are always a risk when involved with training, and an injury could cause a guy to feel that they need to quit training altogether. What advice do you give your clients when they are injured to make sure they want to return to the program after recovering?
Big thing I've seen with injuries. Injuries happen on the playing field to athletes and to even regular guys just playing sports and pick up basketball, whatever it might be. It happens from severe cuts, meaning movements instead of actually cutting your body, where there's sharp movements with the joints. So that can hurt your joint, like making cuts in football, basketball, tennis, whatever it might be. Or there can be a muscle strain or a muscle pull, a muscle tear, whatever you want to call it. But in the gym, it should never happen. There's never an excuse for an injury in the gym. We don't see it here at my studio. I hardly see it in general in professional training environments. If I injure an athlete that I'm training in my studio, he's no good on the playing field. He's no good to his team. My number one priority before anything else is keeping him safe and allowing him to play his sport. So with all training programs, what we do is we keep strict form. Form is meant to make your body work in its proper biomechanical range of motion. That means we only work within the range of motion that the athlete has at the same time. When we increase his flexibility, we can get deeper into a squat or whatever it might be. The other thing is, when form starts to go, we immediately stop the exercise. There's no point in trying to push out another rep if you're rounding your back, if your hips are tilted in the wrong direction, or you're really pulling your neck in different directions. So my first tip is that form is king. If form goes, you stop the exercise. The second thing is the periodization model, is that you take that rest week after 12 weeks. And the third is the unloading week, which means not every week is a max out week. You can't train at 100% every week. It will hurt your body in the long run because you'll be overtrained. So with those three principles, you're going to be able to go a long way with that. You'll stay healthy. You'll enjoy your workouts a lot more as well.
What are a couple of your favorite exercises in the book, and why?
So a lot of people ask me what my favorite exercises are. My favorite exercises are always the fundamental big lifts. So in the book, I have maybe a half a dozen variations of a squat, a half a dozen variations of a deadlift, even some step-ups, and a lot of different types of lunges. And lunges are very athletic-based. We have rotational lunges. We have lunges in all three different planes of motion. And then for the upper body, we have all sorts of different pushes and pulls. And some of my favorites for the abs are core-based chops. Now, if you haven't seen chops before, in this book, I do them with ropes. We do them with handles, all sorts of different attachments, which are fantastic for training your abs, but not only making you look like you have great, basically abdominal development, but a smaller, tighter waist as well. The other thing is I threw in some really new and advanced type training exercises, and those are using a landmine, using kettlebells, using different cable attachments. So you're going to get a lot of different looks in this program. So for me, I'm in the gym or the studio at least 10 hours a day. So not only do I keep things interesting for my clients, but I keep them interesting for myself as well. We're always working with new things. When new things work with myself and my team of trainers, we bring them over and pass them on to the clients in the studio, and now we're passing them on to you in the book. So you're going to get over 300 different, angles and shots of exercises, and it's going to keep you really busy for over a year.